A warm welcome and thank you for joining us right here on The Nest on Y254 channel. I'm your host, Jael Care. Today we're going to tackle a topic that is pressing in our society: how to empower and support effectively vulnerable families, that is single mothers, the widows, street families. Often they're neglected, but today we have a guest, Husseina Islam. She is a social worker and a motivational speaker. She has been doing this job for about 9 years. So she has a lot of experience in the field, and we'd just love to hear from her and to tackle this conversation. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Please introduce yourself to our audience.
Okay. Assalamu alaikum. Hi everyone. My name is Husseina Islam. I'm a social worker and a motivation speaker from Ihsan Charity Organization.
How did you start this work of social work?
I will always like to share my journey. It hasn't been easy. It has been rough and tough. So from there, I just told myself, one day, I believe I will deliver. I wouldn't want people to go through what I went through.
Do you mind sharing a bit what you went through that made you to get to where you are now?
There was a time my family had issues. It came to a point like they're going to get separated. So that was a very difficult journey because you're in school, very innocent. You don't even know how to hustle for another day. Yeah.
How old were you at the time?
I'm very poor and in such reminders, sorry. But it was like, I think 10 to 15 years back. Yeah.
So then how did that impact you to get into social work?
I know how it is to be without a job, maybe to be without a home, and to sleep hungry. Yeah.
What kind of people have you worked with within the time that you've been a social worker?
I thank God through this journey. I met different type of people from different type of organization, and also an organization that gave me some sponsor to do counseling, rehabilitation. Yeah, I thank God for that.
Which people were you doing counseling and rehabilitation on?
Most of my time I deal with street families, street kids, and from my research, the street kids are coming from single mothers. Some of the family that are left widow. Yeah.
Since you have been working with them for a while, what are some of the challenges that most of them encounter before someone goes to be a street child or to have a street family? There's some things that have gone through. From your experience, what are those?
Some of them due to divorce, some of them early marriage, some of them have gone through maybe rape cases when they were young, so they just hate themselves, they've got no one to talk to, they just feel like they could just go to the streets and that's where they'll survive.
When you say early marriages, most of us imagine it is out of the cities. Does that happen in the city or urban areas?
Okay, nowadays you see when a girl falls in love, even when you tell her not to, the do's and don'ts, they're like, I'll just try, he loves me, he's promised me heaven. That's how it happens. You just decide to get married. You just stay there maybe for some few months. Challenges are there. Where to run to? You can't go back home because they already warned you. So you end up being with friends. You see, a friend cannot take you in for so long. There are challenges you have to provide. Now where will you not provide? Just in the streets. That's how they end up.
So it also happens in town and city areas?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, how do you differentiate people? Because now there's so many people who take advantage and may act as though they're either single mothers or their street families just to get the help that you may offer from your organization?
Yeah.
How do you differentiate those who are really in need and those who are not?
You see, from being in this field for some years, you can tell, because there's somebody who talks genuinely, like it's straight from the bottom of their heart, and they're like those ones you are asking them some questions, they stammer, you just feel like something is wrong here, and you don't do it alone. Also, you look for an expert, and they're like, this one I see somehow maybe she's mentally affected, because you see their lives have been like, just they believe it's in the streets. Even when you meet a child, a small child, they say, we're training this child, we believe when he's maybe 3 to 4 years, he's going to be able to pick a stone and help himself. So they are mentally affected as well.
So they're trained when they're younger?
Yeah. So you see, when you meet a street child and you try disturbing them, they'll always have something to defend themselves, like a stone or run away. Yeah.
But that is quite challenging.
It is.
So how do you reintegrate them into, because we're talking about how to effectively support and empower these families. How do you get to empower them?
First of all, they need to have your trust. And when you're there, you have to be down to earth. You see, when you're there, you meet some of them having mucus and the glue. Now, if you put yourself into, like, you're avoiding them, they're like akona maringo, something of the sort. And then the minute that you start behaving like that, they can even chase you away. But you just hold them. Maybe if it's a child, you carry the tissues, because sometimes even during to COVID-19, I used to put some gloves. We do some small training. And, you know, you need to sanitize, because there's that way you come and you get to win their trust and their heart, because these kids need so much love, support. Now if you're there and you start your bag, I don't know, you need, they will still, they'll teach you a good lesson.
They'll actually take it from you.
Yeah.
Do you think there are enough social workers to do that job? Because I think in every town and every city we have street families, and you said most of them come from single parent homes. So are there enough social workers, and how can that be navigated around?
Okay, from what I have seen, people are really trying, but the challenge that we still hear from them, they're like, when they see us, they lock their cars. See, we cannot explain ourselves. We are mistaken for mob justice. So how will we get support? People fear them so much. It takes a heart. It really takes a heart for you to understand them, because sometimes even me, when I'm on the streets, I get this, wewe msichana unafanya nini hapo? But me, I'm like, I'm doing it for the sake of God. I'm doing it for the sake of the love of humanitarian. Yeah.
From what you mentioned before, it seems like early marriages lead to single mothers, which end up leading to street families.
Yeah.
So what do you think the solution is? Because it looks like a channel.
Maybe we as parents, friends, all the ones who are watching, you should try to get close to your neighbor. Maybe if there's an issue, maybe if you see your child is behaving differently, we should stop being harsh, like you're hitting your child, you're giving insults, and to her, you don't know what's running in her mind. She will do anything. Nowadays, you see, it's different from the way we were raised. I remember my mom, I always like to use my example. She will pinch us here when we behave badly when the visitors were coming. But now, who will you pinch? You pinch and I pinch the same. So you really need to understand them. And then come one-on-one. The way I usually, even my small child, I bring them close. I come one-on-one with them. Today I'm late. Mommy is trying to forget you, but sorry, she's been busy. Just be yourself. Don't pretend. Yeah.
And from your experience, when you work with them and you show them love and you have gained their trust, does it get better?
Yeah, it does. It does, because they see, most of them can talk in English and some of them talk in Kiswahili. Yes, sister, ile upendo umetupatia, Mungu tu akuonekanie. You know the language barrier bit. So to me, I was like, anionekanie, like, but I'm like, okay, and then you're just like, amen. Because now you can imagine you met a young lady with a newborn baby, and then because of just you being there, you just tell her, how can I be of help? Sorry, how can I be of help? And they're like, nipe tu nguo. See, sometimes, you know, it's not about giving money or something. I used to have my clothes now, because I've seen such cases. So you give them maybe a blanket, and then unamwambia, just stand here, let me get to the supermarket, you get some stuff, because there's a way, you know, you cannot get inside where they live. I have been there, believe me, it's very risky. But you see, when you're passionate about something, so there's a way they get a place, like a slum inside, they cook, so you buy them some dry food, they go and help themselves.
Where have you been where they live?
We have them even here in opposite Parklands, we have them in South C, we have them in South B, we have them, you see, between slums, any place nearby the slums, they're there. That's where they can shelter themselves, but how? Just outside.
So are they outside? Because even in town, we see them sometimes sleeping just on the pavement.
Yeah.
So in those areas where they have secluded themselves to stay, how do their living situation look like?
The living situation will just make me break into tears, because it comes a point one has to be protecting the other, because if a guy needs this lady, we'll just grab the lady and leave her like that. So they have to leave telling you, we have to squeeze ourselves in somewhere, hide because of the baby, because there are circumstances we can't escape. Maybe when thieves are being chased and they are there in the process of running, maybe the child will get hurt. Maybe sometimes there's a problem, you see them themselves start fighting, so the other gets into the same, so they're having a very difficult life.
When you say when they're staying together and someone pulls, for example, a lady and assaults them, does it mean part of the other street members or just regular people?
From there you can't tell, because from the story they tell you, because you see it's late at night, even themselves have a family of their own, maybe this street boy and this street lady. So for them, you know, anybody can do anything at that time. So you see, for them, their life is at risk.
Do they ever get a chance of going to the police? And I know the whole system of going to see that you're assaulted is quite skewed, but do they ever get a chance to go to the police?
Not really. They just like clean themselves, continue with their life. That's why you can see most of them are getting pregnant in the streets, and they'll have to deliver maybe for there, if they get a good Samaritan. Okay, let me take you to the hospital. That's how they survive.
So that actually means that some of these children are born out of rape.
Yeah.
Do you think it's a big number or just a few from your experience?
From my experience, I can say I'm seeing a very good improvement with our government, and I'm very happy with the governor Sakaja. I don't know how to pronounce the name well, sorry, because
you're right.
Yeah,
she's Sakaja.
Yeah, thank you. There was a time we were feeding them and we were giving them some motivation talks. So I met a boy, he was very, very kind, and the food was less. So I was like, let me rush and get you something. And then he was like, sister, don't leave me here. Don't you see? I felt it. And then I just told the child, don't worry. God will create a way where you feel like there was no way. Believe you me, after a week, I saw our Governor Sakaja holding him. I was like, oh my, you see that tear of joy. I'm like, I'm looking for him. I'm trying, like, he's ours. We were with, but I'm so happy. He took him to the office. They did some photos, and he was taken to school. And I felt at least their cry has been heard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in the other counties where you've been to, could you mention those counties and how the situation of the street families is?
Okay, for Mombasa, there's this there's this name they are given called Teja. There's the way even they talk.
Teja.
Yes, something like Mateja. These ones are very risky because they can even grab your bag like this and you cannot say anything.
So they're the ones who come to scare you with a needle.
Yes, those ones, now you can imagine. But believe me, even if somebody loses their mind, there comes a point he's very okay. He knows I need to drink some water.
Yeah.
So it's all about talking to them, communicating, and then you have people who will be of help. Like if you see me talking to them, at least you come and approach, you know, way best to help them because they need to be taken maybe to a rehabilitation or something. Alone, you cannot do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We spoke about early marriages leading to single motherhood. What advice would you give to the young mothers who may see that, hey, you know what, I thought love is it, but love is not. So how would you advise them to actually press on and, you know, try and not get themselves to the street?
Just don't fall in love easily. Don't be blinded. And sometimes it's about material things. You will feel like maybe she needed something and this person was like, I'll get it, let's go here and do. But remember, that small material will cost your life. Yeah. So they really need to be careful. They should study and focus and build their lives because they are way better, beautiful. They don't just leave themselves to be treated so cheaply. Yeah.
Now I'm imagining a scenario where a young mother has a child whom the father of the child has disappeared. And now, while you're saying they should not be enticed by the material things, they don't have any other way of figuring life out apart from getting someone to help them navigate. Is there a practical way, some help, some organization they can go to that they can find help?
Yeah, we have another organization. It's called Ta'awun Trust. They do not even charge much. You get training of ICT, you get your certificate. Then we have tailoring, and we also have plumbing for boys. So at least they can enroll. You see, even if it's working, you know, tomorrow I'm getting my certificate in a period of 3 to 6 months. Poverty is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that organization just in Nairobi or it's across the country?
It's gone to different counties. Yeah, like we have it in Kilifi. We have it in, where else? Yeah, Kilifi, here. In here we have it in Majengo, Kibera, Huruma.
Do they help them transition into the job workforce, or they just give them the training and then they're released to find work?
They're given training. We give them some mentorship as well, and we follow up. If it's someone serious, just like the way we have that network, you can come here and do this. Maybe there's a construction going on. We have others that have done electrician or something. Kindly give them something. You see, when they get that, they get a lot of motivation.
Yeah. Of course, with these stories, you have seen transformation in some of them. As you say, you follow up. Do you ever see an instance where someone actually goes back to be a street child
Now,
after the training?
not really. They are really better people. Like if you meet them, you wouldn't even know he's from the street, and even he doesn't want you to mention that. But if you see them going back, then there's a problem somewhere. You just know you have to go step by step with them. Like tell them, okay, what kind of business can we do for you? What would you like to do? They'll start telling you, nilete kiatu ya mtumba, nitauza. Like, see, he's used to be moving on streets. So from there, at least you will feel like you helped. And then you just try, maybe, okay, not all the time I will be in town. They're mostly in Globe. You can come across them. You just give that greeting, you talk. Me, I like it. Even if I've not done much, when I meet them, I'm giving them word of hope. Because I believe this world will heal. But if I came with a different action, it will really kill their motivation.
We have been talking to Husseina Islam. Now, when we come back, we'll explore more about her work with the widows, and she will share also some transformation stories from the street families that she has worked with before.